Alrighty, welcome to another night with the Radical D. Welcome, welcome, welcome to chat. Thanks for coming out. We are going to be leveling up tonight. I think that is the play. We've got all of our major features in here with our silver machine, but that is just the controls to the spaceship. That's sort of how I'm thinking of it. What we need to do next is come back and build the actual engine to this thing. And before we can do that, we are going to need to get this baby slick. And basically what that means is that if I try and put this huge thing into a whole other patch, we're going to tie ourselves in knots real quick. And I'm going to pull up our notes file and make sure that we have all of our I's crossed and our T's dotted. And we've got all of our bugs fixed. And that way we have a clean slate to go and put this giant thing into a Max for Live patch. Though, I am going to keep this separate, and that way you can use it to control any synth you like as well. No, I have only the one kitchen. Oh, Lord. Yes, alright. Where are we? Where are we? Okay, so, I've just opened this. And this is kind of the problem that is our mission for today. Before I can do shit with this, you can see there's notes coming in. All I've done so far is pick PlayStation 3 controller from the menu. And luckily we have data correctly. But from here, I'd say the first thing that jumps out at me is it's a pain in the butt to have to select my port from every single one of these. So that is the first thing that we are going to be cleaning up tonight. But I don't like calling it cleaning up. I like calling it refactoring or leveling up. Leveling up is more fun. This is a little bit of the grind part. But it's part of the fun, really. This is almost relaxing because at the end of this mess, we're going to have a pretty slick little machine. So I'm going to do a save as Silver Machine 6. Because I'm paranoid, and you never know what you're going to break in the course of refactoring. And then we're gonna, let's see. Yeah, so notes file. Space, synth. No, that's not where it is. Give me a sec, chat. I gotta go find my notes. I didn't pull those up before I started. I hope you all are doing well. I'll throw this on for the moment while I get organized here. We're going to play around with this live set that the husband and bandmate was jamming on before we started. Sounds kind of like Orbital to me. I think we're going to add some more synth to this and use it as a good drawing board to test our stuff out. Jam out for a sec, chat. Here's our notes. Can't do shit without our notes. Right, so last time we got our button mashing feature and that was sweet. Bugs. Let's look at our bugs list. Yeah, so MIDI output device and channel for all buttons. Load bang for D-pad velocity. Make the coal save. Yeah, this is what we're going to be knocking out today. And generally cleaning things up. Making them look pretty. And there's a practicalness to prettiness as well. Because with any language, not just with Max MSP, but especially with Max MSP, as you build, it is easy to make mistakes if it's easy to turn yourself around. The cleaner something is, the easier it is to debug. So it's worth it to take the time at this point. Where, like, I look at this and, I know where I am right now. These are our buttons, right? These are our joysticks over here. This is the octave up-down pads. And, but if I were to go do another project for a month and come back to this, it would be very, very easy for me to go, what the fuck is going on here? You never think so as you're working on something. You're like, I know what I'm doing. I know how all this works. I made it. Of course I know how it works. But then it looks like something written by somebody else, even after just a couple of weeks. So don't trust anyone, especially yourself. Glad you agree, Beard Pills. Alright, so this is probably the easiest one. So right now there's nothing stored in our scales. We can probably knock this out real quick. We've got that. We want to be able to assign these in one go. And there's this little bug with velocity. Alright. So first of all, I need me a happy little Google window. Mirror. Come here. Got Chrome on my other screen. Here we go. So, max MSP, col, save with patch. Let's try that. Save col with patcher won't work. Why, there we go. We haven't even tried it yet, but let's just see how we're supposed to do it. Okay, embed 1 is supposed to work. I like this guy's picture. Let's see. You can use write and read. If you're using a Max for Live or building collective or applications, you would need to save the file. I personally use save data with Patcher only when the data is not going to change. Okay, so that might work for us because this data is not going to change, at least not in the first version. It would be cool at some point to allow users to save their own scales into a col, but for right now, remember our rule of thumb, keep it simple, just to start with. Little bit at a time. No reason to do anything else yet. We're just gonna save this data with the patcher. That's exactly what we want. And yes, like your friends, lost data every so often. So yeah, that's cool. I think we can probably figure that out from the help file. I bet it's something in the inspector. But yeah, let's open the help file. We probably should have just done that first. So, allows for storage. So this is just putting things into the col, nothing to do with the file. Retrieving certain bits of data. Removing bits of data. Gotta remember to look at these tabs up here. Advanced storage. Alright, so this is still particular entries. Embed 1, save the data with the patcher. That is probably what we want. So nothing in there. Alright, well let's just try it out. I'm going to take this embed 1. I'm going to paste it. I'm going to shine it up real nice. Like The Rock says. I'm going to paste it over here. Put it in there. Let's store our scales in here. And because I mentioned it last time, let's add one more, just for funsies. Beard Pills wanted Lydian flat 7. So there you go. Lydian with a flat 7. Drag that in here. We're going to put that at index 7. Remember, the first number in each of these messages is the index it is stored inside of the col. So there we go. 0 through 6. That looks right. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now that looks right. We need to add the entry to our menu here. Yeah! Beard Pill says coding, debugging. Nice. That is the plan. Yeah, we want to add this to our menu. Locrian, and we want to make sure it's in the same order. Lydian flat 7. There we go. That should do it. Close that up. So we saved it. It's in there. Now hopefully if I say embed 1, still in there. We didn't lose it. Now let's close and reopen and see if it's still there. Bada boom. Nope, didn't work. Alright. Well, let's put the stuff back in. Let's follow my instinct and go see if there's something in the inspector. Oh, save data with Patcher. Yeah, there it is. We didn't even need to Google it. But, I don't know, Googling helped. We knew what we were looking for. Let's see if that works. So, save, close, reopen. Let's see if we've hit this bonfire. This is going to be a bunch of little bonfires, is my hope. There they are! Huzzah! Woo, we got it, chat. That wasn't too bad. Let's put a little done there. Make the coal save. Now we get to delete some crap here, which is the nice part. We don't need any of these anymore. Look at that. Nice and clean. We also don't really need this number box anymore. Yeah, we do want this bang, though, so that we re-trigger which scale we've selected if we change our root note. So let's get rid of that. Already looking cleaner. Cool. So out of this, I guess while we're here, we can start thinking about presentation view. We're going to want these in our presentation. And we're going to want a comment with it. Choose root, note, and scale. I think that's all we have so far. Yep. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, what you got? Let's see. Oh, no gifs in chat. I'm sorry. But I can help you out. Thank you, Beard Pills, for the bonfire. Hell yeah. One and done. Let's see. There we go. All right. How is that for starting an interface right there? Whoops. Whoops! What did I do? Where'd it go? Come back. Oh, we do have some stuff. That's what this is. So here's where we're... Alright, we do have a couple other things in presentation mode already. We will still want this menu. That's important. Let's make all of these the same size, huh? Making things a little big is good. It makes them readable. It would have been smart to probably design this UI first and then kind of fill in the blanks, but this is where you start to see that I am more of a back-end developer than I am a front-end developer. But I do both. Both are important. So this is going to be choose your PlayStation 3 controller. Cool. Command Y to line them up. And we're not really going to need these in the presentation yet. This was just a monitor to see that we're getting data. We will have different ways of monitoring that. So let's start off nice and clean. So here's what we got so far. And let's also pull up our patcher inspector while we're thinking about it. Oh, what's the fucking key command? Inspector window? Yes. Basic. We want to open in presentation. Groovy. Alright. Ticking along here. Let's get out of presentation mode. Let's move this over to where it belongs. This goes here. We don't need this comment anymore. That's old. Alright, so that is the scale part of it. This is probably about as cleaned up as it can get. Might be nice to put this into a sub-patcher, just for... because we're not really going to need to, like, see this at any point. Do I have everything selected there? I think I do, except for the things that are in our interface. I always forget this one. I think it was Command-Shift-E to encapsulate. Yes. Wonderful. Perfect. Do we need that lower? Yes, we do. All right. Just thinking about how to organize this. Probably should have just kept this out, really. Yeah, but we want to have this trigger bang eye inside of this subpatcher because there's all of these cables here. Yeah, okay. No, this is fine. Let's call this tuning. Specifically button tuning. There we go. Hey. Command Y so we can see that this goes in a little loop. And because I know that I will wonder what that is for, I'm going to leave one other comment here that says retrigger scale when root note changes. And let's just put that inside the subpatcher, just in case we wonder what this little outlet is for. You gotta think ahead for when you are 2 months from now and stupid, and you can't remember why you did any of this. But look how clean that is, chat. Beautiful. We cleaned up our little tuning section here. Alright, rock and roll. I would certainly call that done. Now, next. Yeah, let's deal with these many note out and control out objects. Because I hate having to click every single one of them every time that we want to assign something. Let's see. I'm going to open up the help patch for this and see what I can send it to choose a port, because I'm pretty sure you can do that. Outport. Here we go. About port and channel arguments. So we are... here we go. Port A, port B, port from max 1. That's what we want. So I would kind of want this to say by default use the IAC bus, but other people might not have that enabled. So what we want to do is use this Midi info object. And I'm going to steal this. Click to get a list of ports. So we send this guy a 1, and he outports a list of all of the available ports. And you use the middle outlet to connect to the Midi object. Okie dokie. So this is a little bit tricky because we're using a B-patcher, but that's alright, we got this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to steal it. Stealing's good in this case. We are going to paste this in. This is what we want our user to use. But instead of having to click 1 like some kind of peasant, we're going to say load mess 1 so that it automatically populates when the patch is loaded. There we go. Nice, it works. You can see the menu changed when I double-clicked it. We don't want this, though. What we want is a send. So this is going to be in charge of choosing a port for all of our note out objects. And probably all of our control out objects, but we're going to focus on note out first. Again, one bit at a time. Let's call this note port. And notice I'm not going to use any kind of hashtag 1 because we want all of these notes to go to the same port. If the user wanted to do something complicated, like send the L and R trigger buttons to something different than the rest of the notes, then we can rely on them to change that by hand. This is just a convenience because most people, if not all, are going to want to send all of their PlayStation MIDI to one place. Again, thinking for version 1. If I got 20 people being like, why do I have to use the menu? Couldn't I do different ones for every note like, then I would put something in. But I've learned that you want to think simple first. Pardon the whiny voice. You can tell I've had to deal with customer emails. Oh, boy. So, let's see. Now we need a receive. We're going to open original, unlock. Close that because I already had it open. You don't want it open twice. Paste. We're going to go receive. And this goes in the left inlet, I believe. And I think that's all we need. I'm going to square these off while I'm here. Yeah, we'll do it like that. There we go. Alright, chat. We good. We going to save, close. Let's see if it works. So we clicked that. Right now, the note out says AUDLS Synth, and in theory, Beard Bill says that's spot on how they sound. I try not to be mean, you know? Everyone thinks that they've got the right way to do things, and as a programmer, all you have to do is start simple, and from there you want to satisfy as many users as you can, and put together something that is intuitive, but has the potential to be advanced where needed. But oh my god, if there is one thing I could impart from my years of struggling with this, and it's not easy, you have to start simple. You have to start with the intuitive thing and not try to satisfy every single possible use case all at once. You'll never get anything done. And even if you do, what you do get done will not be intuitive because you're trying to do too much at once. You've got to start simple. And I swear I'm still learning this lesson myself. So I try. We're always learning. So, anyway, what we expect to happen, hopefully, we're checking. These all say AUDLS Synth. When I click this menu, we expect all of these to change to IAC driver bus, or whatever else I select here. It worked! Holy crap! Where's my bonfire gif? Did I close it already? That deserves a bonfire. There we go. Nice. We're killing it today, chat. Killing it. Save. Save our work. Let's see if this will also work for control out. Because I have a feeling, if the Max gods are with us tonight, that it might. Let's copy this. Let's make a receive. Let's bring it over here. Let's plug it in. Left inlet. Usually when you're sending informational things like this, where you're setting ports and generally setting the main arguments of an object, it usually goes in the left inlet. That's hooked up right. Yep, we're going to want one for each of these. Boop. And let's check and see what these are currently set to. Yep, alright, these are all still AUDLS Synth. What happens when I change this here? Not that menu. This menu. Big money. Hell yeah, it works there too. That means we should rename this. I think we could use the find and replace for this. Find... Actually, no, that makes me too nervous. Alright, let's just name these Midi port. Bit more universal. I think we can do a, what is it, paste replace? Yeah, okay, we can do a paste replace to save time. Select all of these. Paste, oops. Select all of these. Control click, paste replace. Good. Come back up here. We're just renaming this variable. It is no longer just the note port. It is the universal Midi port. And same in the B patcher here. Open original. Unlock. Why is this in presentation view? It doesn't need to be. Alright. And you, sir, paste replace. Save. Close. And we have one more to change. This guy. Our button mash dude. Oh, I still have this copied. Whatever. Here we go. We zoom in, chat. Here we go. Let's check and make sure everything is still working. Let's test from max 1. Yep. Works there. Works there. Works. Is it gonna work over here? Works here too. Fucking wonderful. Alright. Let's add this to our presentation mode. Boom. And we're going to want to comment with it. Choose MIDI output port. Zoom this guy over here. Boom. And we can kind of put these in the order one would expect them. So I would be sort of, here's setting up the controller first as my input, then setting up our MIDI output port, and hell yeah. What do we got? We've got this going up here. So yeah, we have choose the controller, choose our output port, and then choose our root note and scale. Scale and root note. There we go. Looks good. All right. We also want to allow them to choose. I suppose we want to allow them to choose which MIDI CCs to assign. Right now we have these hard-coded to channel 1 and CCs 1 through 5. So, yeah, we should probably do that. Let's take... Okay, there's one glaring refactor that needs to happen here, though. So here's another programming principle for you, chat. When something looks the same, don't repeat yourself. Stands for, dry. Oh, hey, cool, pixel art. Nice. Alright. We are going to... Right, yeah, don't repeat yourself. We're doing that's dry. The programming principle called dry. We are repeating ourselves a bunch right here. And we can fix that by throwing this crap into our B patcher. So let's do open original. And I'm gonna copy. So this is a little tricky because notice we're not completely repeating ourselves. These control out objects are different. And each of these receives for the mapping are different. But, so I want to look at our inspector here. what do we have for our arguments? Do we already have... Oh, yes, Bob. Okay. We should probably rename Bob to match this raw L joy Y. And continue with our principle of good naming conventions. I'm looking at this argument list here. I'll zoom in for you. So if you remember, we've got 0 through 127 is what we want at the output. 0.05 to 1 are our nudge values. So at slowest, we're nudging by increments of 0.05, and at fastest, we're nudging by 1. And then this is our dead zone here. Center is between 129 and 133. And this is the name for our bee patcher. So we did do one of them as Bob. And we can use this for our receiver, I do believe. Do we want to bother with that? Let's zoom out. Okay, this is where staying focused on one thing at a time comes into play. Right now, the bug we're working on is just being able to assign all of these control outs at the same time. Capiche? So we're going to stick to that, and we can do more of this refactoring later. This stuff does match, and we can put that inside of a bee patcher. Thinking. Slowly turning the wheels. Yes, Fabrizi, indeed. Alright. So I just copied and pasted this. Because we have to be careful here. We only have one outlet, so we're not going to misorder things. But this is our more complicated bee patcher, and we don't want to fuck with it too much. At least not if we don't have to. So, hashtag 5 rescale. Yeah, alright. What was the hashtag? What was the fifth argument again? Look in the inspector. 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 and 6 are the dead zone. Oh god, but it counts from 1. Where am I? Most things in programming count from 0, but not this. Hashtag 0, if we remember from a couple weeks ago, is what will give us a randomized thing to separate our bee patchers out. But we care what these arguments are. So they start from 1. 0, 127, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Bob is 5. I just had to get that straight in my head. Sorry, chat. Hey, there's like a whole conversation happening here. Oh yeah, talking about pixel art. Teeth Engraved says, literally just screwing around till it looks right, huh? Ever watch Brandon James Greer on YouTube? No, I haven't seen him. Alright. Neither have I, for what it's worth. I'll have to check it out. Let's see. What am I doing? Receive MIDI port. I lost my patch cable because that is connected here. Abort! Guess what? We don't need to change this part yet. We've got our mapping happening. And we've got this, chat. We don't need to abort. This is what we want, really, inside of our bee patcher. Unlock. Paste. This is our output. And we still need this outlet to go back around on itself here. You see this patch cable comes out and then back in. We don't want to mess that up. That's important. But this part we can put inside the patch. And we can leave our control out set to a default of 1-1 right now. That's fine, because we're going to reset that from our interface. So this is connected. We can still receive our Midi port. This is connected. This is connected. We can still receive our Midi mapping. That's good. So really, this just needs to go here, and everything should still work. But this is why we did a save as. And in fact, I'm going to carefully leave this over here in its own corner in case we need to change it or take it back out again. But this is the part that needs to change. LJY map. So we need to make this changeable because this is not the same for every patch. We want this to be #5 map. Let's do that. Let's save. Let's close. And that means we're going to need to rename these as well. So let's just do a new view here so we can see what this looks like. Bob map. Yep, that's what we want. But let's rename Bob to be matching these other ones. So this one is LJoy X2. What did we do that for? This should just be LJoy X. Yeah, there's no reason for that to be 2. And this one is LJoy Y. Whoops. No, this is a good cleanup thing we're doing here. LJoy Y. I'm a little scared of what we're gonna break. And that's okay. The fear is natural. Oh dear, we have this one named Bob too. Good thing we're doing this. These should all be named something different. We don't need 2 Bobs. 1 Bob is quite enough. So this is our Joy Y. So the right joystick Y-axis. This one is L Joy Y. So left joystick Y-axis. This one is going to be R Joy X. Yep. Oh, so that's why we did 2, huh? Alright, so this one is actually R. Looking at this receive here, we want to get these straight. So, left, left, Y, X. Left, Y. Left, X. Right, Y. Right, X. Okay, we have our names in order. Let's fix this naming here. And let's disconnect this stuff so we can test what's inside of our patch. And then if it works, we get to delete this. I just cut and pasted it so it wasn't connected up because we don't want duplicates. So this is going to be now LJoy X map, LJoy Y map. And one little tidbit you should know is the reason I'm changing this to be name followed by map instead of map followed by name is that Max will only render that #1 or #whatever if it's at the beginning of your object. And these are little things that you just pick up with time. I know it seems complicated, but with experience and a whole lot of very painful trial and error, you will retain and figure this stuff out for yourself as you go. And that's why I like the Dark Souls metaphors, because It's a whole lot of running and then dying and then eventually hitting a bonfire, but it doesn't matter if you die a million times. That is part of the game. Cool. Ljoy X map, Ljoy Y map, Ljoy X map, Ljoy Y map. And we can leave the MASH map alone, because that's over here. That's fine. And that's already receiving our Midi port, so that's fine. Let's save. And then the one other thing we need is to assign Midi channels and controllers. So we're going to do one Midi channel. I'm just going to assume everything's the same channel, but we do want a different controller number for each of these. Open original. And that means we need another receive here. And then we can test this. Controller number. So we're going to say receive hashtag 5 CC. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe CC out. Cool. And I guess while we're here, we're going to want to do the channel as well. Cool. Gonna call that CH for channel out. Actually, I hate abbreviations. We don't need one there. Channel out. CC out. Great. Copy these so we don't fuck it up. Save. Close. And then when this is over, we can make some music to see if it actually works. Cool. Paste. So instead of hashtag 5 here, we want to reuse these names. I'm going to copy these because I'm lazy. I mean efficient. There's a fine line between lazy and efficient. So instead of sending mapping, we're sending CC. CC. Now you see why I called this leveling up. There's a bit of a grind to it, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of relaxing, and everything looks cleaner when you're done. Get rid of that. Copy that. And now we want... Oh, and I fucked it up. Hold up. Hold up. We want CC out, not just CC. Caught it. Cool, cool. Feel free to pop in and ask me questions if you like. Don't want to leave anybody in the dust. Beardville says, efficiency is just laziness in a fancy 10-letter suit. Hell yeah, that's the way to look at it. Now I'm going to copy these. And I'm going to name them now channel out. You'll see where I'm going with this. Oh, we just want one channel out, actually. Yeah. Yeah, you know, there's... Well, we've got them here, I guess. We can give them individual channels. Whatever. There we go. All right. There we go. We got 4 channels, 4 CCs. I guess we're going to want one for our mashing controller. Mash. Mash. Cool. Receive. Receive. Take these over here. Put them in the same place. CC out goes in the middle inlet. Channel out goes on the right. And now we need some happy little number boxes. I'm going to say just the one for the channel out, honestly, because most people are just going to pick one channel. Again, that's one where it's like if people want more than one, we can add it in easily enough, but for right now, really you're only going to need one channel. Choose output channel, but you will want individual MIDI CCs. So let's say I, I, just like Crazy Train. I. Just so I don't look like a crazy person myself, when you hit the I key, that's how you make an integer box. I for integer. Okay, here we go. We got 5 integers for our CCs, and eventually we can make this into a preset, but that's going to be a job for next week. We're going to get this much working and test it out by making some music, and I think that'll be a good place for tonight. Load mess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I did that wrong. Wait, we don't want commas here. Making something easy for myself. And just so I know this isn't the default, we're actually going to go do 2 through 6. You'll see what I'm doing here in a sec, chat. What we're going to do is say on load, we want MIDI CCs 2 through 6 instead of what we have right now, hard-coded as 1 through 5. And if this works, then we know that our assignments work. I'm going to unpack this, and we should get 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to just add these to our presentation. With a comment. Whoops. Always comment your code. And let's put that. I don't have a pretty place to put it. Choose output CC. And let's move all of this over a little bit. There we go. That's pretty. All right. Presentation mode. And I guess we want to label this as LX. Hope I have these right. LY. RY. Like that. Beard Phil says, like, laziness is just efficiency on vacation. It's in there somewhere. Oh, why the eyes? Oh, yeah, sorry. I think I answered that. So when you hit I, you get an integer box. When you hit F, you get a float for decimals. Just little shortcuts. If you hit N, you just get a new object box that you can type whatever into. Just little shortcuts. Nothing fancy. Sorry I was late on that. I was focusing here and did not look over at chat. But, yeah. We are getting there. Cool. Glad you're with me. My bad. I gotta make sure to do both. Because I love having you guys there. It's really cool. MASH. Like, for real, to tell a quick little story that is something that made me want to stream. Back when I was a teacher, one of the funnest days I had in my first class was I had a student who was having a problem. It was a jQuery related problem, and I couldn't figure it out. And for a moment I panicked, but then I decided it would be cooler if I just, turned it into a way that was teaching everybody, myself included. I just called the rest of the class over and was like, okay, so we got this bug going on here. Let's figure it out. And so what we ended up with was like 20 people clustered around this person's desk, and everyone was taking turns shouting out suggestions like, hey, have you tried putting a console log over here? Like, hey, why don't you try putting this over here and then click on this? And it was super fun, and we eventually figured it out together. And pair programming can be a little scary when you get started, but, you know, like anything, you push through it, and it can be really cool. So I kind of think of this as like a group pair programming session where we're all working together and teaching each other, ideally. And I'm glad you love being here too. Okay, so here we go. We have our output CCs, our output channel, and let's put that underneath. Put this over here. Cool. And bring this down here so that things are sort of in order. Maybe up here. We'll keep it in a row in a column for now. Cool. Okay. Let's see if it works. So we're going to put everything on IAC bus. I'm going to double click my load mess. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. I'm going to choose the output channel to be 2, just for the heck of it. And let's go for Aeolian. And yeah, I don't know what key are we in over here. That's a D. Sounds a little bit more major to me. Let's do Dorian. I never do Dorian. This sounds like it could fit with that. So D, Dorian. Alright. And let's open a new synth. Maybe another instance of reason. All right, let's hope this works. Give us some release. Turn on the Midi input. Let's turn it off over here. And ostensibly, we should be getting stuff on channel 2. And yeah, let's check our notes first. Actually, we're going to leave it on all ins because our notes are going to come in on channel 1 right now. Oh yes. And I'm not hearing anything, and that's because of the other bug I wanted to get. But that's an easy one. Default velocity is 64. So what we just need is a load bang to say just trigger something through here. I think that's all we need. Bang. Yep. So when I send a 0 through here, this scale object will translate it to a 1 instead, and multiply that by 64, and that starts us off with velocity right in the middle. What was happening before is if I haven't hit anything on the D-pad yet for velocity, this is still just sitting around at 0, so we were getting velocity 0. And that is why we weren't getting any notes. Oh, and Beard Pill says, do you sing? You should. I do, on occasion. Yeah. I do indeed. Since we've been playing as a duo for so long, we both kind of play a little bit of everything. He tends to specialize a little bit more on rhythms, and I tend to specialize a little more on the melodic end of things, but we both play a little everything. Now are we getting notes? No, not yet. What have I done? Oh, did I pick a port? Yes? Okay, what are we doing here? Got a AC bus. What's happening? Oh, you know, we've restarted the patch. I think I just need to actually pick the PlayStation controller? Yep. Okay, that was just because we had restarted. Oh, thank you. Beardpill says, beautiful voice if you don't mind me saying so. Appreciate it. Something's off. What's that? What happened? Let's break out our Midi monitor and see what we broke. I hear things, but... Alright, we just want notes. Filter. C-2. Okay, so some of our notes are not coming through. Maybe it's because I need to reselect this. Dorian. D. Come on now. Alright, they're all being C-2. That's lame. God dang it. How about if I go up an octave? That's working. Okay, we were just down a bunch of octaves. Fine. This is why we're doing our cleanup. Hey, that's nice. Yeah, alright. Oh yeah, okay. Interesting. Something is like happening when I'm hitting R2. That works. Nice. All right. Check your toggle mode. Huh. I'm starting to think this is my controller. Nah, alright, we're good, we're good. We'll keep debugging this as we go. So let's just check our MIDI CCs. Assign this to something. Yeah. Okay, so... I think... Let's go configure. And... let's go with... a filter. And... resonance. Always good. And let's go with... motion... index shift. There we go. And so we have all of our stuff assigned. And now we should just go to map mode over here, and then MIDI map mode over here. And we're going to say left joystick X is going to be filter frequency. Boom. Okay, we're assigned. Channel 2, CC2. Nice. Resonance. Left joystick Y. Awesome. So far, so good. Right joystick X is going to go to motion. Right joystick Y is going to go to index. And then finally mashing is going to go to shift. Should sound cool. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Channel 2, looks like we're good there. Turn off map mode in both places. And I think we're groovy. Yeah, that's working. Yeah, and when I mash, it is hitting the shift. Let's try the right joystick. Sick. Woo! Little harsh there, but things are working. Let's try some other presets, but I think we're doing good here. Nice. Let's try chip arpeggio. Hey. Oh, and we're not sending anything to this filter yet. Let's do that. Yeah. Oh, gotta turn it on too. There we go. There we go. That's the mashing there. Let's try with toggle. Yep. There we go. Okay, yeah, so right joystick is doing motion and index. You can see it here. Let's zoom in a bit. Yeah, looks like shit's working. Nice. Thank you, Beardfills. Very cool timbres, I think, too. Takes a little practice. Joystick's pretty sensitive, but... I definitely like having the mash on shift. That's fun. Cool. Little Johnny lead. Yes, I should soften the sensitivity a bit. That's something to go on our list. But without touching anything, that's kind of fun. So, without messing with the joystick, if I mash, you can see this shift knob come up. And if I hold the note, it slowly comes down. That's super fun. Alright, chat. I'm gonna say that's another bonfire. We've got our MIDI assigning stuff working. We cleaned up our tuning. We're gonna hit save. We're gonna come over here to our notes and say... And we also fixed that D-pad velocity issue where we had to hit something on the D-pad to get notes with velocity more than 0. And just going to add one more thing on the list here is fine-tune the joystick sensitivity a bit. Less sensitive. That'd be good. So yeah, making progress. Next week, we're going to keep tuning this up. Ooh, excuse me. Next week, we're going to keep tuning this up, but look at this. We have an interface that's coming together here. It's going to be awesome. Soon we will have the controls to our silver machine all set, and then we get to actually build the engine and come back into making this do our own little swooshy sounds rather than just mapping it to other synths. And yeah, thanks Beard Pills. Noise back at you. Let's go raid somebody. This has been a good stream. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Always lovely to make progress. Let's see who is up. Oh, dude, Portal Walker. So I watched him do Beat Saber with a bunch of K-pop, and he is super cool. Let's go raid him. Here we go. Start raid. Thank you again, and yeah, I will see you next time. Catch you on the flip side. And let me throw the Discord link in here so that we can share stuff on there. Anyone who's interested, come and chill. And we can share max patches and music. And it's a good time. Good night, all. Thank you again. And until next time. And thanks for coming. Ba-da-bum.